Are you trying to decide whether to be a classroom teacher or the school librarian? Or maybe you're a classroom teacher and you're trying to decide whether to pivot to the library to teach. In this video, I'm going to talk about the differences between the two, and maybe that will be your tipping point. So let's go. As a classroom teacher, you are in a classroom filled with some books, but mostly teaching materials. As the library teacher, you spend your workday in a room full of books all day, every day. And personally, I cannot think any place I would rather be. So your personal love of books and reading might lead you to head to the library. Not only are you in the room full of books all day, but you are responsible for those books. So you are evaluating them, you're caring for them, you're shelving them, and you're spending a lot of time reading them. And yes, you are getting paid to read in the library. But it's your job to evaluate to support the curriculum, to support the students' reading interests. So you will spend quite a lot of time with books. If you are a book lover, then it's a great job for you. Another part of spending time with those books is sharing the books with the teachers, with the students, making recommendations. You're always constantly evaluating and assessing the books. You are the person in the building that gets to purchase the books. So you get to buy books with other people's money. One of the best days of the year, and I'm sure any library teacher would agree, is that day that big box of brand new books shows up at your library door. When I am scanning out those books to each student during their library class, I feel like I'm just giving out gifts all day long. And that is a great feeling. If you are a classroom teacher, you are grading papers, grading tests, making report card grades. If you are a library teacher, there is a good chance that you are not giving any grades at all. Now, some districts, it depends on your school district, they determine whether you give grades as a library teacher or not. But many school districts, you do not give a grade. In the school district that I taught in, I did give grades in elementary school to 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders, and those grades were aligned with the learning standards. Both the librarians in my department and the administration were divided whether there should be grades in the library or not. I know my principal thought that I should give grades. Part of it was accountability. Sometimes as a library teacher, you feel like you're justifying your job very often. People thought the grades were job security. I don't know if I necessarily agreed with that. I was always kind of on the fence. I could see both sides of it, but I just felt like the children should come to the library and be excited to learn because they are assessed and tested constantly. The library should be the one place that they are just learning for the pure joy of learning. And I had some colleagues that disagreed with me. They definitely wanted to give grades. And another reason that they thought grades were important was they didn't feel that the students would care or be motivated to complete any assignments or to participate in any activities if they weren't getting a grade for it. So my thoughts on that are that your ability to motivate the students is what sets the tone. Like your enthusiasm is what sets the tone in the library. And if you are excited and you are motivated, your students will also be excited and motivated about what you're learning and your activity, and that kind of goes along in the library and the classroom as well, and to any teaching situation. But you set the tone in your space. And if you're excited about the lesson, the students will be too. Now, I'm saying that about elementary school. Middle school, well, that's a whole nother animal. But definitely for elementary school, the more excited you are about something, the more excited your students will be as well. So in that line of thinking, if you are already a classroom teacher, this will really resonate with you, and that is, there is no state test in the library. So every state, I believe, I'm not sure about this, but has some kind of state testing to evaluate the teachers, to evaluate the students. There is no getting around the fact that state tests cause stress and anxiety in teachers and stress and anxiety in students. If you are a classroom teacher, you are planning lessons to support the state test. You are also prepping your students on how to take a test. And even if the students themselves aren't always aware that is what's happening, that is what's happening. And even the most amazingly talented teacher, which I have known many, that knows how to relieve the stress and keep it as stress-free as possible for the students, it's still stressed. The kids know that they are taking a big test, and as much as you downplay it, the anxiety still exists. So, no state tests in the library. One of the things that I think is great about being a library teacher is that I get to know every single student in the school. And not only do I get to know them, I get to keep them for all the 6 years that they are in the building. So they come in to kindergarten as little munchkins, and I get to know them, and I get to watch them grow and change over the course of 6 years until they graduate and leave at the end of 5th grade. So knowing them and having them as my students for the full 6 years is just something that I really like. If you are a classroom teacher, you are going to get your students at the beginning of the year, have them for the full year, every single day. So you do get to build a nice relationship with them. But then at the end of the year, they leave and they move on to the next teacher. Having them for 6 years, I don't know what it is, but I just really like that. Also, not only do I know every single student in the building, you get to know every single person in the building, every faculty member, every staff member, support staff. And as far as faculty members, you will most likely work with every single person in the building at some point. Sometimes that could be a con, but for the most part, it is one of the perks, I think, of the job. On that note, knowing every student in the building means that every student in the building knows you. So this brings me to my favorite point of all, and that is the fact that you are a celebrity. If you are the library teacher or any special area teacher, the art teacher, the music teacher, the gym teacher, you are a celebrity. Everywhere you go in that building, when the students see you, especially if they see you outside of the context of the library, they are going to be so excited. One of my favorite memories is a couple of weeks into a school year. I was walking down the hallway on my way to the office, and there were 3 little kindergartners just walking by, and they saw me and they started giggling and waving. And as I walked by, they said, "Hi, library girl." So it was really adorable. When the kids come back in the beginning of the school year, they will also know you as their safe, comfortable person. They'll be excited to see you. The first week or two, they're a little nervous. They don't really know their new teacher that well yet. They don't know the expectations, but when they see you, you are a familiar face. They're going to come running over to you. They're going to tell you all about their summer. And honestly, their excitement can't be beat. I hope this information has helped you maybe come to a decision whether you want to be a classroom teacher or whether you want to teach in the library. That about wraps it up for this video. So if you liked it, please hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Also, don't forget to go out and support your libraries, your local bookstores, and your right to read.